Yo. So with my DK Legacy fans, I just want to come and make a quick video on the Premier League. I know a lot of people have been talking about the Arsenal's quadruple and it's going to end up having nothing, which is okay. It happens, okay? It happens in sports. As a soccer player, I understand what it is and it happens, okay? Um, we all know Arsenal still lead by 9. But after they lost with Bournemouth yesterday's defeat, City fans finally have a reason of to believe, to believe they are going to win the title, which is okay, which is believable. Um, I've seen a lot of things happen in soccer, and I understand Guardiola has this tactical and psychological play of his play, which is understand. Um, let's get to the context, okay? Arsenal are on 70 points and City still have their 61 point, which is 9 points below Arsenal's, okay? With a game in hand on this, like in Saturday, after they lost at the home to Bournemouth, 3 domestic defeat in a row, and Arsenal still haven't won the league in 22 years. I believe 22 years. Arsenal haven't lost won the game in 22 years, okay? The pressure is still building. I'm not an Arsenal fan, okay? I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I feel bad for the Arsenal fans. It sucks. Thinking you guys are going to have that quadruple and you lost the Carabao Cup, I think, to Arsenal or to Man City. They lost to Man City, I believe, and also losing to Southampton, they exit in that another trophy that they were supposed to get, So it all comes to this Premier League and the Champions League, okay? So we all know that today City is playing Chelsea, okay? Chelsea are missing some key players. They have James missing, they have Chalobah missing, and their captain Enzo Fernandez, right? Um, you know, who is suspended, I believe. He's suspended, looking at the sources. City just beat them. They beat Arsenal 2-0, like I said, in the cup final, and they also smashed Liverpool 4-0 in the FA Cup. Haaland ended up scoring 3 goals with a hat-trick and City to win that game, okay? And that gap drops to 6. And that gap drops to 6. All right. So, looking at the real threat, okay? I'm looking at my data, right? I'm looking at my data right now. I'm thinking that, Arsenal's head coach Ateta, he wins just 44% of his Premier League games in April, right? And Guardiola wins 79%. Those numbers don't lie. If you look at it, they don't lie. Okay. The threat here is that Arsenal plays City at I believe they play City at home on April 19th. But here's the thing, okay? Arsenal also have a Champions League. If you're looking at the games, they have a Champions League second leg 4 days before that. They have a Champions League second leg 4 days before that. So, which means 3 games in 8 days. If you look at it, 3 games in 8 days. Okay, so that's like a threat. That's like a psychological thinking. The body, look at it, the body getting tired. You don't know if someone is going to get injured. The psychological thinking of that. So that's really tough. Playing a Champions League game and in the 8 days before that, that's a threat right there. Okay. So My verdict. Let's go to my verdict, okay? I'm believing Arsenal is still favorite. If you look at it, Arsenal is still favorite. If looking at the data, Arsenal is still favorite. But the goal difference is a safety net. All right, the goal difference is a safety net. But this is no longer a process. Okay, it's no longer a procession. Looking at it, because if City wins today and April 19th become the cup final, can Arsenal hold on? Can they really hold on onto their nerve? Can they really hold on to their nerves? Okay, they haven't managed it yet this spring. They haven't managed this yet this spring. If you look at it, talking about the losses of the games, the not being consistent, not being to win the cups when it comes to the moment. So I don't think they have been it. Looking at the spring, they haven't managed it. Okay, they haven't managed it. But who do you think is going to win the title? Who do you think is going to win the title? I mean, Arsenal is still having a 70 point, like I said, in 31 games. City has 61 point in 30 games. This is 9 points gap difference, which is nothing to City, right? We're looking at Etihad only having 44% April win rate. Guardiola having 79% in April win rate. That's a huge difference, okay? So, and Arsenal having won this title in 22 years. So I'm believing that, look, I know people are saying this and that, but data also putting in like Arsenal still have the chance of winning. But it's all come to today's game and also the game on the 19th, okay? I know Man City is playing Chelsea today, and putting my data together, using my models, it's saying Man City is going to win 2-1. And sometimes, I'll go with the data, but sometimes I also go with the mindset and I also go with how the players are going to play or react on the field. Okay? Chelsea and City made 13 games, and Chelsea haven't won even a single game. Okay? They only drew this January 1-1, I believe. They drew 1-1. But the rest, City have won. But which is okay. It happens. But when it comes to the D-Day, which is tomorrow or today, I'm saying data is saying City is going to win 2-1. But I don't know. Anything is possible. Okay? Anything is possible. I'm thinking Chelsea, even though they don't have James, they don't have Chalobah, they don't have Endo Fernandez, it's okay. This should give them like the momentum. This should give them the zeal to come out there to play, to win the game, to surprise everybody. Because they haven't won a game with Chelsea against Man City. So today might be the game. Today might be the upset. Today might be the upset. Okay? Today might be the upset. And I believe so. Even though the data is saying 2-1, like I said, my data, my model is telling me 2-1. But what I'm saying is it might be different. Okay? Today might be an upset. Chelsea might actually win the game, which might give Arsenal in control again. Okay? To next week's game. Okay? So, the title race probability. This is what I'm going to say. The title race probability, right? My model. Okay, so Arsenal wins the league. I'm giving it 68%. And Man City win the league. I'm giving it 32%. Why? Because because the 9-point differential, which is nothing to Guardiola and Man City. But sometimes that's soccer. Anything is possible. Just like Bournemouth beat Arsenal today. Anything is possible. Okay? I believe Arsenal have 6 games left and Man City have 9 games left. So it all depends on today's game. If Man City lost today or tie, Arsenal still have that um you know um chance. They still have that mentality, that psychological, that hey, we are in control of the game. We are in control of this title. Okay? So it all depends on today's game. If Man City tie or lose, Arsenal still have a chance of winning because all comes to next week. So if Man City lose today, next week will all come to next week, which I believe, or on the 19th, which I believe um, Arsenal is going to take full control of the game because they won the title and they haven't won the title in 22 years. Okay, so I was just going to say, I still believe Arsenal can still win this title. Okay, I still believe Arsenal can win this title. So just leave your comment, drop your call below, and follow for the Etihad breakdown next week. Okay, just follow up with the game coming up, Arsenal and Man City next week. Follow, subscribe. What we do at DK Legacy is like we give facts, we predict what's going to happen. We talk about the game, we talk about the breakdowns. Okay, so follow me and subscribe. Thank you.